Now, Shivam is an exponent of cinematography using the gimbal. His photo won the second place in the online photography contest for all of Goa, and he's considered as one of the upcoming young artists in India.
Moments of grace in the endless stream of experience. If I have to phrase what is photography for me, it's gonna be this. And somewhat similar was the experience for Pandharpurwari for me. Tales by light through the eyes of storyteller. As you have already seen masters work and heard a lot of masters, I'm gonna keep it short. My visions about what is photography and how I work as a visual artist. So I'm Shivam Harmalkar, filmmaker photographer based in Goa. I'm practitioner art trying to be an artist. So a little bit about my achievements. I won a best story for at International Film Festival of India in 2019, and second place at Chota Cinema Contest. So man is a product of society, and I can proudly say that I'm exactly a product of my culture and my society. I grew up in the joint family of artisans who were sculptors and painters. So it was always being around paints, eating paints in the childhood, and playing with the mud. That's all I did, and it somehow formed a sense of art, or you can say a sense of artistic vision in my head. So these are a few projects I did. It was a Kusti project. I've been doing it for a long time. So as a visual artist, I really find it very hard to talk, and I rarely find a words. I literally draw scissors when someone asks me to write what is scissors. So this is what I've been doing all my childhood, all my school life, and teachers were complaining, "Your boy is just literally drawing. He's not writing in words." So I'm not gonna try to recollect these lines. I'm just gonna read it. By telling visual stories and living with photographs, I participate in the act of faith. Photography is the process that always remains unfinished, a never-ending exploration, and something that when it works makes a photograph indelible. Photographs do not end stories, they open them. They are moments to engage and absorb, which allows me to begin and continue a meaningful discourse with an understanding of the world, of love, faith, and hope. And this was me 10 years ago with my first camera in the Agra, and these are the pictures I shot back in that time. So, visual language. I believe visual language is the language with which you can communicate to anyone and everywhere in this world. So, and you start to see as soon as you are born. So, it's about visual library you develop since the beginning of your birth. So, like speaking with picture, it never stops me to explain myself. Like how I'm shuddering right now, I would never do that with my photographs. It I'm really not a guy who will talk. I'll just shoot a picture of that and I'll express myself. That's the way I prefer talking to people. So these are the few things I follow every day since I started photography, and I think that was my topic to talk about different techniques about photography and what I do as a visual artist. So beginning with these few points, look at the small things and observe everything, and find a visual interest in things around you. In your mind and I imagine how they could look. More aware of photographers will More aware photographer will know that anything can be a subject, anything has a potential for a great photograph. So 12 years back, Prabhuda Das Gupta, one of the contemporary of this time of fashion photography, said even a dog can take a good exposure on a phone or on camera. That far is the technology. What makes a photographer a piece of art is the thought behind the photo, and that's what make a photograph as art. It's a big controversy, I know. Photography is an art or it's not, but yeah, the thought behind every photograph, that's what make it a photograph. It's not the camera, it's not the higher megapixel, it's just all myth. Feeling light. So I find very interesting to observe light in every day. So light in the morning is very different in the afternoon to the evening. So observing light is one of the things I really like to do in my everyday stuff. What is cinematic? Nowadays, in the commercial work, people always say we need a cinematic video, we need a cinematic photo of something. Cinematic is basically means dramatic form of light. If you know how to observe light, how to read light, you'll always get that cinematic look to every photograph or every video you take. Mobile as a great tool for photography. Nowadays we see people say people who shoot with the mobile are not exactly photographers, they are just snapshotters. And yeah, 3.2 billion photographs are being uploaded every day. 7 lakh 20,000 hours of video is being uploaded every day. So what makes your photograph or video different for other people? It's just your perspective, isn't it? Not a DSLR. Nowadays the technology is so far, even a 12 megapixel photo can be printed in like 2 by 2 meters or however length you want. And it also helps for street photographers to shoot on a mobile because it's not distracting the subject. You get the candid moments on the mobile. So these are some compositional techniques: framing, leading lines, symmetry, negative space, filling the frame, repetition patterns, deep of and depth of field. So observing these compositional techniques in everyday life is what I basically do, and that's what I capture. It's nothing more than that. So two important elements for any film or any photography project I do is pre-production and post-production. Currently, my pre-production was my diary, which I was about to read and just present, but it's not working, I guess. So yeah, there are pre-production techniques. You have to do research, you have to find sources, you have to talk to different people, get their views about the things, and build your strong opinion on the project or the film you want to make. And the post-production simply includes editing, choosing the right music, and creating the whole final project. So it's it's like tools nowadays are getting technically too damn goddamn expensive. So I find it very interesting to create my own tools. So there are lights which cost lakhs and lakhs, but what we do, me and my friends, I have some engineer friends, we'll just make a plumbing ka pipe ka tube, we'll add some bulbs, we make some rigs, we use helmets to get a POV shots, we use office chairs with a wheel as a gimbal sometimes, we use skateboards. So you are never out of tools if you are observing things. And yeah, that the photography part of me helps me a lot to observe things and find this really interesting jugaad, as Indian term we call it. Storytelling and expression. People say photography is about storytelling. Yeah, it is about storytelling, but it shouldn't be always about storytelling, right? As a photographer, I also like to express my feelings. It's not just about story. Sometimes I just express a word I felt, a feeling I felt through a photograph. It doesn't have to do with anything with the story. Obviously, every time you click a photo, there must be a thought behind it. And that's what will make your photograph different from 3.2 billion other photographs taken every day. So yeah, people ask me from what genre you are. Are you a wildlife photographer? Are you just a filmmaker? Are you just a photojournalist? So I stay away from these people. I say, if you're asking this question, I'm not a photographer because I'm boundless to any genre. I would love to shoot everything that I like and everything that interests me. It can be a sandal on the floor. It can be anything. So that that part of me, uh, like, makes me very, it's like a new experience every day to observe different things and shoot different things without getting pressurized, without getting bounded by the community. One of the greatest advices I've ever received was printing my photos and just showing your films, whatever you made on a screen, on a TV screen, to anyone. So yeah, photography is somewhat a physical media, I feel. When you take that print in a hand, when you see that print on a wall, it's a whole different experience. If you just keep it on your phone, yeah, it's a photograph. Nice photographs can be there on your phone. But when you print it, when you hold it in your hand, it's a complete new experience. And just I love to show all my films on a small TV to my parents, and I just enjoy sitting. Although sometimes they hate it, they're like, "Hey, this is a little adult content, you know that." But yeah, I like to show them because it's a new experience. And yeah, that's the way I like to live: to observe everything, to talk visually, and get nervous on the talks. But yeah, I prefer doing that. I love taking photos and experience the world through photographs, videos. And yeah, I'm a visual artist trying to be an artist. Thank you so much.